Are you kidding me?
You know that comment you said to the radio? The thing that we got wrong?
Clearly, Brussels sprouts are the worst vegetable.
Call us and let the world know your thoughts. 855-257-7469. That's 855-ALS-SHOW.
You hear that music, you know it's that time. We're going to talk a little barbecue, and it's the barbecue show on the Al Travis Show. And today, we've got Stunt Monkey in. Stunt, how are you?
Yes, sir. I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, no complaints.
You, the listeners.
I really well. I got no complaints. I love the fact that winter might be over already, and I know snowmobilers, people, but the wife already going out, hey, you want to barbecue this? You want to do this? The weather, I'm a firm believer, and I don't go outside much when it's 20 below. So as soon as this turned around, it's like, hey, let's get barbecue, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, I really do love the fact that we have so many changing seasons, and you can see the difference and stuff. Even the snow on Saturday, it was very pretty as it came down. I'll be right. But when it got done, I'm like, all right, let's get this thing melted. Let's get into this nicer weather. Let's start grilling more. I mean, we always grill outside no matter what, but I want to have a Saturday where I just sit in the backyard in a lawn chair and I don't have to move. And I'm just going to get some food on that one and food on that one. And I need one of those days. I feel like it's therapy.
Completely agree. Mine is a little more controlled. I'll have a cocktail, a cigar. It's outside, so I generally have my garage television on, and I'll watch a little, sporting action sometime. It can be the perfect day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just relax and just have that moment in the backyard and nothing else to do besides watch that meat, just get ready to be done and enjoy. So I agree.
You guys at the barbecue show have merchandise? I thought I saw something on the Facebook. Are you actually selling it, or are you just trying to find out if people want it?
Probably more so that. I kind of already knew people wanted it. So I have we've had some shirts made and some hats made basically just for us that just say the barbecue show on them. I got some very nice koozie metal koozies made that say it, that's like sketched onto it. This hat I've been wearing. So I told my stepson I wanted to make some of my own hats. I got a hat thing as well. I like to.
You're the hat guy. The Hat Chronicles. If you don't follow the Stunt Monkey, he's got the Hat Chronicles, and people just give him ball caps. Now, where are these stored, by the way?
That's the number one question everybody has. Yeah, Cap Chronicles. I'm wearing number 586 right now.
Okay.
That's got over the weekend. But they used to be around my house in pretty decent places. Like I'm like not a few are stored here, like in a tote. By the way, maybe displayed in my office. I got married now, so they're no longer allowed. They're in the garage in a handful of totes now. So, but that's the number one thing everybody always asks. But anyway, I told my stepson, I'm always spending money on hats. Yeah, I should make my own caps. And he designed a little pig graphic for laying on the top of a grill. I'm like, that looks awesome. I'm gonna make that into a cap. And so I immediately turned around and got it screen printed, or not screen printed, embroidered. Along with the barbecue show logo on the side. And I've worn that cap so many places, and the amount of people who stop me and go, I love that cap. I'm like, I got to make a move on this. And so I did a little reach out to see how many people would probably want to buy one on social media first, because turns out they're expensive to make as well.
Well, when you're not making 60,000 of them, you're only making 24. They are quite expensive, but
exactly.
It's a good looking lid. Because my point is, I guess, if this catches on, and I hope it does, then you got one. You get your kid to make one with a steak kind of guy on there, a cow on there. You got the chicken on there. You got many SKUs, I think they call it in the business.
I think you're absolutely right. We do. We really would have a lot to offer, so it'll be fun.
So currently we can't, but if they wanted to go on the BBQ Show Facebook page, they can let you know that if they'd be interested.
Absolutely. Please do. The BBQ Show on Facebook is where I got that post up. Just asking if anybody's interested. And like you said, a lot of people are, and hopefully they can take off. And I'm going to try to get more made and just kind of turn around and see what we can do with them, because we've got listeners who come in, and I've been wearing my hat not listeners, but guests. And during the show, they'll be like, where'd you get that cap? I need to get one of those caps. I'm like, well, I appreciate that. So
let's talk a little bit about barbecuing, as long as you got here.
Yeah, that's relevant.
I enjoy my Traeger tremendously, the smoker, but a lot of things just aren't smokerable. Is that a word? Did I make up a word? Okay. and what I mean by that is, again, the wife, hey, why don't you go do this? Why don't we put some vegetables out there on there? Smoked vegetables don't really work as far as I can tell unless I'm doing something wrong. I no problem on a grill. Grilling vegetables doesn't, but you're not soaking in a lot of smoky smell. I think it's my wife just making me work harder. Your thoughts?
I think vegetables are hard. They're hard to smoke, if anything else.
Yeah.
But it's more so a grill thing because usually you want it hot, fast, and done. They're not going to absorb a lot of smoke. It's one of those things too. We share it a lot on the show. Just because you can smoke it doesn't mean you should. And that goes for a lot of things other than barbecue, by the way. But the main point of it is that you get the opportunity to do things that you think I'm going to do this asparagus on the grill. Well, that's going to get really soggy before it gets quote unquote done, and you're not going to get what you want for a product. So you do have to do those at a higher temperature. Which with the Traeger, they're great. I've got mine up to about almost 500 degrees now for cooking stuff. That's technically not what you're grilling at when you're doing a steak and things like that. So having a secondary grill, we talked about it last week. We got to talk you into a flat top. That could be a great way to do it. I actually don't tell the wife. I don't think she's listening. I just picked up another Weber kettle last night. So
how many kettles do you need? And the flat top, by the way, my son just picked out one, a Blackstone flat, and he's just flipping loving it. I believe that will be my next purchase.
They're life-changing. Jake says they're life-changing, and he could not be more right. From all the things you can do on it, you can pretend you're a short order cook in your backyard, making breakfast and just smash burgers and everything else. It's really becomes a fun tool to play with and make different items on.
So back to why do you need another pot-bellied stove?
Oh, the old Weber kettle. Well, it was for sale for a really, really good price on Facebook Marketplace, and it was really clean. I'm like, I could pick that up for a good price. And the one I have is actually an adopted one off the side of the road that I cleaned up. It's a great grill. It's just nobody must have wanted it no more. So I'll give that one to somebody else. I buy one, I give one out to somebody else who wants to start grilling.
What? So the number you have. I mean, I know you have a smoker. I know you've got don't you have an egg or something, right? Don't you have the egg?
No, I don't. I do not have the egg. So I have the pellets. I have the Traeger smoker. I have. Currently, I have the Green Mountain pellet smoker still in the garage. I'm supposed to get rid of that one, says the wife, because I got the Traeger, and she's probably not wrong, but because they do.
It's just taking time. It's taking time to give it to somebody.
Yeah. So we got those two. I got the Blackstone. We got 3 upright electric vertical smokers that smoke wood chips.
Yeah.
I fell in love. My first
3 of them.
How much? 3 of them.
How much beef jerky you making?
I've had all 3 running at one time before, so I do use them. It's become more rare. That Traeger seems to be working out really well for me. I've definitely found that's a good replacement for some of those too. Again, hard to say goodbye. You never know when you might need 3 of them at one time.
How many charcoals?
Then we got the 2 charcoal kettles, and then I have a water. They call them a charcoal bullet or whatever. It's the smoky hollow type smoker where you have a little bit more of a bullet shaped. I got one of those, so I think that's it. I lost count, but yeah.
Out of curiosity, then, does your wife?
I have Jake's offset at my house too. That's right.
So, out of curiosity, your wife doesn't mind parking in the driveway while your grills are all inside, nice and. How do you manage that much stuff? I got rid of my other grill because I got my Traeger, and now I want another grill back. I got to find room.
Yeah, it's hard. Definitely a game of Tetris in the garage, especially here in the winter, because I do want to park my truck in the garage as well. She always gets to park in the garage. I get to be the one that parks in the driveway if I have to.
I don't think anyone listening saying, "Oh, poor stunt monkey," with 8, 9 grills in there that you have to park outside. I don't think people see that. All right, most you've ever had going at a time. You said the 3 bullets.
Yeah.
How big a party have you done? And you've had 3, 4, 5 of these things out working all day long.
We've had a really big Saturday afternoon where I've had 4 going. I have the pellet smoker, and then 2 of the electric smokers, the vertical uprights, and then the Blackstone. Then I'm making food at the same time over on the Blackstone, whatever it may be. Yeah, I have them all going.
And I got to go to break, but do you allow others to man a grill or 2, or is this you run around like a crazy human making sure they're all flying?
I usually don't let anybody else touch them. But don't ever touch another man's grill unless I ask. That's for sure.
Well, that's what is the policy on that? That makes some sense. All right, I've got to go to break. I presume they love you when it comes to the meat department or wherever you go for your groceries. They must see you coming and saying it's time to make our quota.
I feel like if they don't, they should be being, because I feel like I'm a regular half the time. So, yes.
Right. We'll go to break. We'll talk some more barbecuing with none other than Stunt Monkey on the Al Travis Show.
If it's your turn to host the game, Grandpa's Barbecue suggests you try something different. Put out the perfect barbecue flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. Add it to your ribs, dip the meatballs, or drench your wings in the original flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. It isn't too hot or spicy, fruity or smoky or whatever. Grandpa's Barbecue. Available in select stores and online at grandpasbarbecueshop.com.
Chanhassen Dinner Theatres proudly presents Guys and Dolls, packed with comedy, romance, dazzling dance numbers, and unforgettable characters. This Tony Award-winning Best Musical takes you from the gritty streets of New York to the colorful cafes of Havana. It's a high-rolling musical spectacular everyone will love. Don't wait. Visit chanhassendt.com and grab your tickets today. Guys and Dolls, Chanhassen Dinner Theatres, always entertaining you.
The Al Travis Show, the last place you can go and hear all sides. Respectful, thoughtful, and grateful.
Love having them on. The guys at the barbecue show today, we got Stunt Monkey. Stunt, quick question on, well, you've probably done this long enough, it's all instinctive, but for the new guy, if I'm throwing on something different, fish, I don't do a lot of fish, but I'm going to grill a salmon, something like that. Where do you just kind of know when it's done? I got a probe, or I'm the grill has a probe. I also bought a meat thermometer. You can kind of tell, but I have no idea how hot, how not hot to get it to that temp. You know what I'm saying, to make it work right. Is that all just intuitive for you now, or is there a website you go to, a Facebook, or, something on the internet that I can pull that up?
Absolutely. Well, so it's first of all, I'd say it's probably a little intuitive at this point. I for the most part.
No.
But every now and then, I'm like, if I'm making something I haven't made in a while, I'm like, what temp do I got to get this to again? And on a simple Google usually pulls up something. There's, I think, a site I have bookmarked called cookingtemps.com, or don't quote me on that. I'm not sure exactly what it is. But just a reminder of like, okay, that one goes to, because there is certain temps, like people are like, oh, the pork is usually done at 160. Why can't pulled pork off at 160 or whatever? Well, because it needs to break more material down than that. So pulled pork, you take to 203, 205. And you let that get that temperature. And so those I usually have pretty much ingrained in my mind, but otherwise there's a few that come up. They're like, what's the safe temp again? And you just have to Google it and just make sure you're just on track. You don't want to, especially if you're still new and you don't cook it for a bunch of people, you don't want to get people sick.
But on that same line though, let's say a pork at 160 or whatever, that's, it's good. Well, when do you pull it off to get it? If you wait to 160 and then you pull it off, doesn't it continue to heat for a while yet? And then all of a sudden you've got medium rare, it becomes medium, and how do I calculate that?
They're probably smarter guys than us that know the science behind that a little bit more. For like steaks, let's make steaks for instance. That's where, especially for steak, you're going to what? What do you want? Medium rare at the
medium
most?
Rares, at the most.
My steak off at 120. And depending on how that feels. Now, a lot of times people go by feel. So, like, if you think about like pushing your finger against the fat of your the bone right underneath your thumb, right down there, or if you want to call it the meat of your thumb underneath there, that's what you want your steak to feel like, right? Just about right there.
All right.
That's when it's done. So, you go by feel. If you got a thermometer or a probe in there, you can always go by that. But like as soon as I think it's about 120, I'm pulling that off and I'm wrapping it up. If I'm going with a really fancy, we're going fancy steak night. I'm wrapping that up and tenting it or whatever on the cutting board until it's for maybe 10 minutes. It's going to warm up to about 120, maybe 125 as it still kind of continues to cook inside that heat. Otherwise, that way it's done in time. If you wait like, I want about 130. Well, by the time you let it sit, it's going to be 135, 140 sometimes. And you're going to be like, okay, that's now a little overdone.
Yeah. But is it even worse with like the fish products or a chicken product or the pork? Steaks, I presume the toughest meat, I mean the bad way, but that'll do slower. I mean, I guess you would have to get your fish off pretty quick because if that continues to heat up, you're going to overcook your fish.
I'm not the fish guy, so I really couldn't tell you on the fish part, unfortunately. Jake would be the guy for that one. But for chicken, I never even worry about resting chicken. That one it's serve, let's go, for the most part. But I also don't put chicken on the pedestal like I put steak. Pork chops are on a pedestal to me, so that's a little bit different.
But and what about bone-in meats? If a steak with a bone in it, to get that meat cooked to the bone, right? I mean, because that's where you're going to find it the least cooked,
right?
That it starts getting complicated. Same thing with chicken. Chicken might be done on the outside. The chicken by itself, right at the temperature. You dig on down into the meat of it is like, is that safe for my guests? You know what I'm saying? The bone messes things up.
Yeah, you definitely, if you're going to check it with a probe, temp probe, you're going to want to definitely get closer to the bone when you do that. To make sure that's the right temperature. It just takes a while. You got to kind of keep in mind about even cooking, and if you got to flip it or whatever to make sure it's going to get cooked on both sides, get to that point. Just be aware that that's going to have to get to that point. Now, usually, you got a steak with a bone in it, especially. It's usually you're not having too thick of a piece of meat, so you're going to be able to do that. You flip, and you should be able to cook it both sides and get where you need to be. Thicker cuts, depending on what it is, it's just you're going to have to plan ahead and kind of make sure you're understanding what that's going to look like so you can get that middle part cooked. I mean, you said bone in. First thing I went to was a giant pork butt. And you're not worried about that at all then because you're taking that to 205 anyway.
Yeah, it's going to fall off.
205, it just falls apart. It's a thing of beauty.
All right. One last thing just on seasoning, if I could, and anyway, I have to go. You're flipping steaks, you're flipping whatever, you're putting seasoning on it. I get on a rib, I put a binder on ribs. What do you use or do you just massively just keep seasoning? The amount of seasoning I lose in the flipping process. Is there a number? How do you make it stick?
Are you speaking about ribs more so?
Well, the ribs I put a binder on, and that works pretty well for me. Okay. But do you do that with the steak? Do you do that with chicken? Is there binders for everything?
You can put a little binder on everything if you wanted to. On steak, I will usually just, if you salt and pepper it ahead of time, and you let it will sweat in. Mm-hmm. Maybe we would kind of call it. If you let it sit there long enough, it'll sweat in, and then it's going to stick to it for the most part. All right. Chicken, I feel like loses a lot of seasoning, and sometimes just keep that in mind. Maybe go a little bit heavier when you start, or if you are going to do something for chicken, there's a few different options. Obviously, you can always use just an oil or a soy sauce. Sometimes you want to go with that a different flavor there. For steak, little watch your sister sauce will always do the trick too.
Watch your sister sauce. Fair enough. And is it against protocol to season? You know, you flipped it back. You want to put more on while it's on the grill? Or is that too late? Or you're just decorating the bottom of your grill?
It's already starting to get a crust on the outside. You're probably just decorating the bottom of your grill because it's going to fall off at the end.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Sir, I appreciate you being on. Where does somebody catch the barbecue show?
Absolutely. Available on all the podcast platforms, The BBQ Show, and on social media at The BBQ Show as well, and some great radio stations, including our flagship KTOE.
Appreciate you, my friend. I really do. Thank you. We'll get you and Jake back here next time. Fair enough?
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
All right. It's The Barbecue Show with Stunt Monkey.
Chanhassen Dinner Theaters proudly presents